Welcome to your Real Estate Review with Alan Canis of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley, your weekly getaway to the pulsating heart of the global real estate market. Join us as we bring you exclusive interviews with top producing real estate agents from around the globe. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or just a real estate enthusiast, this is your insider look into the pros, cons, and the captivating allure of the world's most sought-after locations. Let's discover where your next dream home awaits. Buckle up for a real estate journey like no other. This is your Real Estate Review with Alan Canis of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley. Hello, everyone, and this is the Real Estate Review with Alan Canis. That's me of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley. I'm here with a very good friend of mine that we met at Realm, Katie Dooley Curran in St. Louis. When I think of St. Louis, I don't think of Judy Garland anymore. I think of Katie Dooley. Hi, Katie.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing really good. I can't complain. How about yourself? How are you doing?
This is my first podcast.
You're going to do great. I promise.
Well, I've declined all the other invitations. Only because it was you that I'm going further.
Thank you. Thank you. Katie, would you start by telling us a bit about your background in real estate and your specific experience with clients that are relocating to St. Louis?
Well, I've been doing real estate. I've been selling real estate since 1997, and I absolutely love it. I definitely am in the career I should be in because I'm really good at hopping and pivoting. And I've been doing it my whole life, which is, I got tied to my desk in second grade because I couldn't sit still. And it really does well with real estate because, as you know, we hop all day long, right? Relocation, I would say, a lot of my business is local. I'm definitely, where my feet are and try to be the mayor of my, central corridor, especially my communities. And it's what I know best. Relocation has really amped up for me in the past 3 years since I joined Compass. The networking has been insane. It's been networking on steroids. So what I love about relocation now versus years prior when you would do it with other, corporate moves or what have you. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember it was like you had to send the data reports weekly and you had to give up 40% of your commission, and you drove people in all over St. Louis who had no clue. You didn't know who they were. There was no connection, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the past 3 years, it's been through someone I know very well, typically is a family member who's coming back here, or there's some sort of tie, or they have a friend here, what have you. It's just been so much more personable, and I've just loved it. And we all take a lot of pride in giving our clients, especially referral clients, I think we all amp it up to the nth degree of picking them up at the airport and telling, making dinner reservations, lunch reservations, even help them with the hotel or any kind of discount they can get or who to ask for to get special treatment. So that's really where I feel like I've elevated myself as a relo agent when I do have someone who's referred to me. Plus, I want to impress the heck out of you.
Well, Katie, the first time we met, you impressed me. And I think the reason we get along so well is because just like you, I could not sit still. I talked a lot in class. I was an AB student, but my report cards all said if Alan would apply what he applies to talking, he could be a straight A student.
Right, definitely. I mean, I've literally been networking since preschool. I'm not kidding you.
See, there you go.
I love networking.
We know when you got into real estate. Why did you get into real estate? What was your...
I've been selling since I was literally 7 years old. I made pot holders and sold them door to door in the neighborhood. I still see this woman every once in a while. She's like, I still have your pot holder.
Oh, that's so cute.
At the grocery store. She's so cute. And then I sold Girl Scout cookies, and then I sold, advertisement for the school play or the school auction. And I always won because I just loved the prizes and I was out to win, and I did. All from grade school I always won, and high school I always won. And then 16 years old, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, we had to get a job, so I started in retail. I was a Saturday girl at a local place called Papagallo here in St. Louis, which some of my dear friends, we all worked together and we're still dear friends. And then at school I worked for the school newspaper, sold advertisement for them. did the personal ads, blah, blah, blah. Then I was in retail. I went through the management program at Ann Taylor when Annie Taylor was the it place to be back in the 80s. They had, Joan Voss and Carolina Herrera and Bill Basante, and it had all the, top name brands, and it was just the place to be. And I opened that store, in 1986, and ran that for 8 years, and then was recruited to open the J. Crew store and ran that for 5 years. And then, I was having babies. So I had, a little 4-year-old and a little 2-year-old at the time, and then one on the way. And I was like, you know what? Life is moving too fast. I am working too hard for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I want to be with my babies. So what can I do? And, still have a great income and be with my kids. And my sister-in-law at the time, Katie Dooley, who's Winnetka, Chicago, my mentor in life. I've known her since I was 16, and my mentor in real estate said, Katie, you should get into real estate. Because she was with advertising, and she worked very hard as well. She's like, now I can be on the soccer field watching my kids play soccer, and I can be taking a phone call at the same time, and I can have, pick up the kids, run, go show a house, whatever. And that just sounded great, that I could be working and still be with my kids a lot more and be home and then, by appointment, whatever. So it just fit so well into where I wanted to be in my life, as well as I've always had a passion for homes, and I love helping people. And I really have, difficulty. I don't want to insult anyone who really does have Tourette's, but I have Tourette's with unsolicited advice, and I can't help myself for seeing people where they need help, or watching someone struggle right in front of me. I'm like, bloop. So it really fits into my career because they want my advice, and I give it willingly and openly, and they love all my tidbits, and they love how I'm going to save them money, and they love all the contractors I'm going to recommend, and here's their name, here's their number, and oh, by the way, they're going to give you a discount because you're working with me, blah, blah, blah. So I love to help decorate, and I do insert my opinion all the time, and maybe not everyone likes it, but
I'm like, that doesn't seem like you.
overall, my clients do like it. And I always say, just tell me if I'm going too far. And they're always like, no, we love your advice. So it really fits. I have to calm it down when I get home with my husband. I have to put on a different hat, so to speak, because, you just can't be giving advice to your kids and your husband all the time. That's just not, they don't really like that. So.
Yeah, I don't tell my husband that. I just do it.
So I do love what I do, and I've been doing it since 1997. And when someone says, how many hours a week do you work? I'm like, I have no idea. I never think like that. I think like that, because I'm doing what I love. And on the way to my appointment, I'm making a phone call with a client, or I'm stopping by running an errand while I'm on the phone with a client. So I still feel like I get to live my life to the fullest while working. I mean, I still work out. I listen to, I work out every morning. That's definitely, no one's ever taken that away from me. It's my end all be all for energy, mood, health, everything. But I'll listen to our Zoom calls a lot of times that we have. I know you have them, or podcasts. I listen to them in my ear pods while I'm working out. So, I never stop until I go horizontal at night.
That's one of the things that I love about you is one is your honesty, two, your willingness, and three, your energy. You just have this energy, and whenever we speak, I always feel empowered and always feel better. And so I always look forward to talking with you, Katie.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, back at you. You're so.
Thank
I remember
you.
the first time you called me. You're like, I really want to get to know you, and we had such a fun conversation.
We did.
After Realm, because Realm was just so many people, and it's like hit and runs a lot of time. And so you really wanted to dive deep, and I always remember that. I thought that was so sweet that you reached out.
I'm glad. And I'm glad I did. So I'm so glad I did. We talked about what you did before real estate, and I know what people are really going to be looking for now. The next question is, what are we're going to just dive deep right into real estate of St. Louis. And I promise no stats. What,
No data. We don't need data.
what are some of the unique features or attractions of St. Louis that make it an appealing destination for people to relocate there?
You know what? St. Louis, I've lived here my whole life, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it, because it's centrally located, right? And it's affordable. We're a digit less than most markets. Every time you all say your prices, I'm like, oh, we can get that for a digit less. Or whenever I'm posting my prices on my homes, people are like, what?
I'm one of those people. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
I'm shell shocked.
Yes. So I always say we're a digit less in St. Louis. We have the beautiful four seasons. I do love all the seasons. I could never live in just, one climate I just couldn't. I love sweater weather. We have great school system, private and public, great across. I mean, so many awards are given to so many of the schools. I mean, truly, we have incredible schools. We have great restaurants, and we have, the free zoo. And by the way, there's one opening. They're working on one right now. It's called St. Louis Wild Care Park. It's opening, I think, in a couple of years. It's going to be like Jurassic Park. It's really cool. They have a existing building right now, and they're working on that, and it's got like
They're not creating dinosaurs, are they?
I know, it feels like they have elk there right now. But like while you're in the restaurant, so to speak, or they're gonna have wedding venues, whatever, the giraffe can come up to the
Oh,
deck.
nice.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool. And they're planning on it generating over 666 million regional economic impact
Wow.
in the next 10 years. So it's going to be amazing. The greatest thing about St. Louis is that other people really point out when they move here is, oh my gosh, I can get everywhere so fast. You can get pretty much anywhere in 15 minutes. Now, you want to avoid, like, I know when I have a listing call in Chesterfield or Wildwood, which is 30-minute drive, but in traffic, it could definitely be an hour. So I definitely know I want to do those routes before a certain hour in the morning after a certain hour in the morning and before a certain hour in the afternoon to avoid that extra time. So you just don't want to do, I don't know. It's you can get anywhere. It's very easy to navigate.
For us, if you go at 3 a.m., it's a 15-minute drive. Anytime around that, it could be anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Okay, so what's funny about that with Realm, when I was leaving Laguna, I wanted to fly out of LA because it was direct to St. Louis. So I I navigated or I put it on my Uber app to see how long and how expensive. And it was like an hour. And then I tested it because I was up one night, or I got up or whatever, and I tested it like in the middle of the night just to see. And I was like, oh, this is so much faster. It's like 20 minutes and it was going to be like $45 or something. So that is so true. And I know anytime I do go to California, you have to leave so early for dinner. And it's crazy. I could not live like that. I don't know how you do it. I could not do it.
We take back roads and we're used to it. And so we just prepare. And thank God, this is not a pitch for Waze, but thank God for Waze.
Oh, Alan, I use Waze all day long. I know where I'm going all day, but I always plug in my destination because I say to my client, I'll see you at 3:52.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know, be on time, because that's how I live. I mean, I manage my time so well. I know how much time it's going to take to look at houses, especially if we're looking at 5 or 6. When we're looking at one, it's going to take longer. How we all know how to allow.
Exactly.
But I don't want to be late for my client. I don't want my client to be late for me because we know 10 minutes could put us totally behind.
Exactly. It throws the whole showing off.
Plus Waze says police reported ahead and I've got a lead foot. So I love that feature.
How would you describe your current real estate market in St. Louis? What's going on there in the real estate world?
It has been robust for the past 4 years. It has not stopped. It truly, everything was selling, as we know, after COVID, no matter what it was selling. I would say the past year, maybe year and a half, that's calmed down a bit. That's still happening if you are in key location, you're pretty, maintained, freshly painted, minimized, staged, priced right. It's still multiple contracts. Maybe not 20, but maybe a handful or 8, something like that. But even right now, while the market has softened a bit in St. Louis, still multiple contracts aren't on anything of what I just described.
Wow.
The ones are sitting that need work, overpriced. any kind of obstacle, those kind of homes always sell better, at least in St. Louis in January and February, if they have an obstacle.
Are you seeing homes turnkey that they're just move-in ready? Those are going
Yes.
quicker than the ones that need
Oh,
work?
oh, absolutely. And that's because contractors are so hard to get and everyone's
Yeah.
just quadrupled their prices. So, doing work or building is always, you have a bit of a pause now because it's not what it used to be.
I used to, well, be a few years back, I could say to a client, we could do a bathroom for
Yeah,
$5,000.
exactly.
Painting a kitchen could be 10, and replacing fixtures, etc.
Right.
Now it's 10 to 15,000 for the bathroom.
I always say, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
And now it's like 20,000 for the kitchen. And so I tell people 50,000 if your house has not been remodeled.
Right.
That's the bare minimum.
It's
It's
crazy.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. And I tell them, you used to always get 2 to 3 beds. Now I'm like, get 10 to 20.
Yeah. Yeah. Because also don't know
You
who's
don't
going to show
know.
up.
Right. And that's the best contractor, right? The one who
Yeah,
shows up,
exactly.
right? I know.
Uh,
Thank God we did. We added a veranda on our house, which is our sanctuary. I don't know. I put it on social media a lot.
yeah.
We just love it. But we did that. We opened up our kitchen, which I'm in, and we redid our master bath. And what we spent for that in 2008 is probably triple right now. There's no way.
You're
There's no
right.
way we could never have afforded that right now to do it right now. There's no way.
Well, like I said, I love your light fixtures.
Oh,
So
thank you.
when it's time, you can send them my way.
Well, this is a 1927 home, so I love old architecture. I
Well, the
love, love, love.
fixtures over the sink look um, not antique. What would you call those? They look like period time of the house.
Yeah, well, I tried to stay with the integrity of the time period, which is 1927.
Okay.
Even, the white DMB marble counters and the slate floor, farm sink, which, I always tell my clients, I just love to tell my clients things. When they're asking me about remodeling, I learned this very early on, even from my mom, but it was reiterated a lot in real estate from people who I really looked up to. When you're redecorating a kitchen or a bath, do it like a European. Do it very timeless, classic,
Yeah.
which is exactly, the white subway tile, the white DMB marble, the slate floor. That's what was in my mind when we were redoing this. But when we first redid it, we had the cabinets black. We only changed the cabinets out to white a couple of years ago because the room's not that big. And even though I love the black cabinets, it just made it closed in a little bit more. And I was like, I want to open it up. And it really did. We love that
I love the white.
yeah,
So
I do too.
we're
And
we're
white's classic. It's just, it never goes out. When people are like, oh, white kitchens are passe, I'm like, that's like saying a
yeah,
backpack's passe. Like,
yeah,
or pashminas are passe. Like, there's just certain things that just never go out, right?
exactly. We are remodeling and adding on to our house in Tahoe. We're getting architectural plans finalized, and I want simple. I want
Right,
white cabinetry.
right,
I want quartz countertops. I want
yes,
subway tiles
right,
and the white, and I just that clean and the slate floor that's heated,
right.
and it's timeless. You're
Well, it's
right.
the way, I mean, I always think it's the way I like to dress. I do very
Hmm.
monochromatic and then change out the earrings, the bracelet, the shoes, whatever. But that's the way I look at a house. I'm like, do all the expensive foundational components timeless,
It-
classic,
yes, it's just like
nice.
me.
And
I'm
then
in
you
the
can pop pillows and you can pop art and pop different light fixtures. You can do all that, and change those things out inexpensively as time goes on.
exactly because for me on the show, I'm in the black t-shirt, the black hat, but underneath is platinum.
Right? Black is great.
It
I
is.
know. You have no idea. My whole wardrobe is vintage. People are like, I love that dress. I'm like, it's from 1999.
You
I
always
think,
look great.
no, no, I'm not saying that. It's just I learned to buy early on solids and classics because
Yeah,
it's just a better way to go. People don't remember the black dress versus the polka dot dress. You know what I mean?
that's true. That's definitely true. What are some of the common challenges or pitfalls that people may face when relocating or even moving throughout St. Louis, and how do you help them navigate these?
So you know what? That's interesting. I was going to say that, and I'm glad you brought that up. When I first started, in real estate, and I did work with some people relo, sometimes I got them the second time around where they were already out in Wildwood, and I know you don't know where that is.
Okay.
It's further out west, and it's newer homes, bigger homes. You can get them for less. When they were working with the agent with Relo, the first agent before me, that's where that agent showed them. They didn't show them Central Corridor, where homes are like, there are some new, but they're typically older, like, anywhere from, like mine, 1927 or prior, up to new, but there's a lot more older and charming and just great architecture. So after living here, they're like, oh my gosh, we didn't know about Ladue and Webster and Glendale and Kirkwood and U City and Clayton. Our agent didn't even show us those areas.
Oh,
We just
wow.
were brought out to Chesterfield and Wildwood. And then, after living here, they wanted to move in. So, I always paid attention when I first started real estate of complaints and things. So I always I don't want to be that agent. So every time I heard something, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be that agent. I want to do this. So I was always, so when I'm with someone real, I'm like, do you want new homes or older homes? Because as you know, we never want to sell someone who loves new homes. You never want to sell them an older home because they
Yes.
don't get it. They don't get the creaky floor and the door that doesn't close tightly in the summer with the humidity. I mean, there's all these quirky things that happen with older house, but boy, they're charming and they're solid, and they don't make doors like that anymore, right? So you get new homes with hello doors and whatever. So I do ask that. And then, it's so hard because as realtors, we have to be careful about speaking to certain demographics or
Hmm.
whatever. So, it was great helping my very best friend one time because she's Jewish and she was looking in a neighborhood that was very Catholic. And I said, Patty, I just want you to know you're going to be the only Jewish person in this neighborhood. And so I wish we could, be so candid with all of our clients because
Yes.
sometimes they'll ask me and I'm like, if you have a friend that lives here, you're going to have to ask them because we can't speak to that. And so it's so
No.
hard. It's so hard because sometimes they want to be, with fellow, Catholics or
Yeah.
fellow Jewish people, whatever. And to each his own. Some people want total diversity. Some people want whatever. So I just say, drive around, look around, ask a friend. We can't speak to that. But so that's the other thing I definitely learned with Relo is you don't know, you're looking at these homes, but you really don't know who's around. Is it young people, old people, whatever? So I always say after our tour, before you go to dinner tonight, why don't you drive around on your own or in the morning, different times, and just kind of look around, talk to the neighbors,
Yeah. And see who's out.
yeah,
See
talk to
who's
them. See
walking.
if you want to be neighbors with these people. See if, they have kids because you have kids and you want to be around a bunch of kids. I try to do that on the tour, try to point things out, sometimes without even saying things just so they can see it. But I definitely encourage them to drive all different times of the days to make sure that that's where they want to be. Because we all know location, 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 buy
That's true.
the
You can
location,
change everything about a
in
house
the house.
except for its
Yeah,
location.
right. Yep. Buy the house second, the location first.
There you
Right.
go. Katie, can you give us a sense of lifestyle in St. Louis?
Well, what I love about St. Louis is there's still so much tradition here. And I'm very old fashioned in that way. Mad Men, I don't know if you ever saw Mad Men with John
Love
Hamm.
Mad Men.
He's from
Yes.
St. Louis, so cute. But I love the way the women dressed back then with the matching handbags and, their beautiful shoes and suit and everything, and the way men dressed. And so I'm just very traditional in that sense. I'd love a man opening the door for me, all those things. um, so, we have VP Ball, the Debutante Ball, Fleur de Lis Ball, it's black tie, white tie events. They're amazing with the big bands. So we have all that. But then, St. Louis is also very casual, I mean, like a lot of cities, I think the whole world's gotten really casual, which I like and I hate at the same time. I
Yeah.
don't like, I still get dressed up to go on the airplane because my mom always said, you'll get treated better you need to be
I
treated better.
I'm
And
right there with you. I
right, you never
dress.
know who you're sitting next to, and
Yes.
it could be your last outfit if your luggage doesn't arrive,
Yeah.
right?
And I
So,
enjoy dressing.
right, me
I'm right
too.
there with you.
Hey, it builds the ego because everyone looks like they rolled out of bed, and all of a sudden people are like, "You look great, you look great." You don't even look that great, but you look better than everyone else.
There's a comedian, and I forget what her name is, but she says, men should not wear flip-flops
Oh,
when
oh,
summer ends.
yes.
And my
I saw
husband
that.
lives in flip-flops, and I'm like, no, that's done. But then she says, unless you're a gay man, because you manicure and et cetera, et cetera. But whenever it's alpha summer and I see somebody with flip-flops, it's just
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
really? You could put on a
No,
pair of
I
shoes.
know. I know, but yeah, it's a casual city. I mean, and it depends. I mean, there's certain restaurants that are still you would definitely still want to be dressed up, or at least dressed up jeans.
Yeah.
And again, that's where I'm old fashioned too. I like to still get dressed up when we go out to eat, especially Saturday night. You know,
Does your family dress up too?
um, it's my family as far as my husband and our children.
Yes.
I definitely encourage it.
I
Yeah,
encourage it, and my
yeah.
daughter looks at me like I'm from another world.
No, I'm like, you're not wearing that to dinner. And then they'll be like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. We're going to a nice dinner. Get dressed up. And plus, we're
Yeah.
going to take a picture. Yeah. And, we've got great restaurants in St. Louis. Danny Meyer, who started Shake Shack, he's from St. Louis. And then
Mm.
Panera Bread, as you know it, is called
Yes.
St. Louis Bread Company.
I
But it
did not know that.
Oh yeah, uh-huh. It was started in St. Louis, but then they changed it to Panera, but that was started in St. Louis. And then we have a great, oh my gosh, I adore her name's Katie Collier, and she started Katie's Pizza in St. Louis. You'll have to look it up. She is amazing. She's killing it, and she's expanding her restaurants. And you've got to Google her. She's
I
amazing.
love a good pizza.
No, no. So it's Katie's Pizza and Pastaria. Her pasta is amazing, but she survived during COVID because she was doing frozen pizzas, and
Oh,
she's so progressive. And my husband just had her speak at an entrepreneur organization event, and her story's unbelievable. I mean, she is
I'm gonna look her up. I'm writing it
yeah,
down right now.
she's so gracious and she's amazing. We're known for our toasted ravioli in St. Louis and gooey butter cake. And
I have not had lunch.
sorry. You'll have to come to St. Louis and have some toasted wraps.
I would love to. So that is one of my stops of visiting. So trust
Well,
me.
you'll hear like Alan Cohen's from here. You'll always hear him talk about
Yes.
that. And same with Carly Kloss was my neighbor growing up. She always talks about it. Oh, and
Oh,
Emo's Pizza. She loves Emo's Pizza. And then Jenna Fisher was from St. Louis. I mean, they're always
cool.
plugging all those things. It's all their favorites too. So fun. Oh, and
Um,
by the way, um, what's his name? Sam Altman started ChatGPT. He's from St. Louis.
oh, see, you're a wealth
See?
of information.
Oh, totally. And what's funny about St. Louisans, if a celebrity comes to St. Louis, St. Louisans do not know how to behave. They will be like, zoom, can I have your autograph? Da, 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 da. And then with anyone who's from St. Louis, I went to high school with them. I mean, listen to me. I was like, oh, Klaus was my neighbor. Everyone tries to claim these people, or they were in my class.
Um, let's talk a little bit about the outdoor living. What are some of the activities that people can expect in St. Louis outdoors? And I know you have the Four Seasons, so can you tell us a little bit more?
Well, and so I was talking about the zoo. That's free.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the St. Louis Science Center. We've got the Magic House in Kirkwood. That's really cool. I think it's like 3 stories of just amazing science innovations it's just really cool. We've got the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West. As you know, the Arch is always on my backdrop on our realm call,
Yes.
which is fun because a realm member was just driving through and she texted me. She said, great marketing. I'm thinking of you as I'm driving through St. Louis, seeing this arch. I want everyone to think of me in St. Louis. And then St. Louis is a really big sports town. We love our St. Louis Blues and St. Louis Cardinals. And now we've got St. Louis City Soccer. So we are big sports fans.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay. Well,
yeah,
as most areas are, they're big into their sports.
not like St. Louisans.
So I don't know. We've
No,
got the
I don't know.
49ers and the
I,
Giants.
I think Joe Buck would tell you, Joe Buck, the sports announcer, and Bob Costas, another sports announcer both from St. Louis. They will tell you St. Louis fans are like no others. We're loyal.
Okay. I'll let you have that.
And Isaac Bruce was my all-time favorite client when we had the Rams here. I helped him 4 different
Okay.
times, football player, sweetest guy on the planet. We still keep in touch.
In what ways, as a real estate agent, do you provide value to someone relocating from a different region or state?
Yeah, I like to talk about St. Louis as a whole and not steer them to my favorite areas. I,
Okay.
I definitely cover certain pockets of St. Louis on certain days because you can only do so much. Especially, I love when they're in town 3 to 4 days. So I try to just give them what I call a flavor of each area with a little history as well. It also, it depends on where they're working. That's one of my first questions is, where is your job? Because even though St. Louis is easy to get around, if he's working downtown, so to speak, which is far east, I probably am not going to be really promoting Wildwood, which is far west.
Gotcha.
Also, because if his wife is not working and she's with kids and she's wanting to do all of the activities, they're typically closer to Central Corridor in downtown. A lot of the ones I spoke about. Now,
Okay.
Wildwood Chesterfield is developing every day, and they're getting more going on out there than ever. So that is developing more.
Gotcha. What's one piece of advice that you would give someone that's thinking of relocating to St. Louis?
Well, St. Louis is
Just
kind of,
one.
well, I don't know if it's advice, but it's more of a heads up.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say, "Where did you go to high school?" And they're always going to be like, "I'm not from here." That's a big St. Louis question: is where did you go to high school?
Oh, I love it.
And what's funny is, so someone from out of town, when someone says, "Where did you go to school?" they mean high school, but sometimes they'll just say, "Where did you go to school?" And the person will be like, "Oh, I went to Boston College." And they're like, "No, where'd you go to high school?" Like they
Uh,
don't care where you went to college.
yeah.
So that's what I always, that's the feedback I always get from my out of town clients later, or people I meet from out of town. They're like, "It's so funny. People ask me where I went to school and I always say college, but they want to know high school. It's so weird." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
know." So my husband, who's not from St. Louis, we started dating. Well, he was my client. I closed
Oh,
the deal. Well, we were both divorced a year. We never had met. Didn't date anybody. Then we started dating people, and then um, then he was my client, strictly my client, all business.
was
And
he
then
looking for a one bedroom or a three bedroom?
he had two kids and I had three, and so I sold him a cute little house. But it was all business, and I wasn't even thinking anything other than selling him a house because it was very business and very hi, this is Dan Curran. Like he was so flat, and then halfway through the transaction, he had his little Irish drill sense of humor, which was very quick and smart that I love. And I love anyone smart's just quick.
Yeah.
I don't tell me a joke. I hate jokes. Jokes are for people who are not as smart. Smart people are just funny. So he always made me laugh. And I was like, I said to my broker, "Oh my God, I think I have a crush on my client. That's so professional." And she laughed, whatever. Well, then closing day, we were at the closing table, and the loan officer and the title person left for a minute. So we were sitting there alone. He said, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Nothing." And I was planning on going to Chicago. And then he said, "Do you want to go to the Clayton Art Festival?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll meet you there," because I had to be in control. And we had the best time. And the big joke was I closed the deal. So we dated for 3 years and got married. But he's
That's wonderful.
client to this
That's
day,
a
my all-time
well,
favorite client.
well, I was going to ask you, tell me your favorite client story, and
Well, there we
you
go.
literally just did.
Yeah, he's the best. Only client I ever kissed.
Uh,
And we'll
that's
keep it
good to
clean.
know.
We'll keep it clean, right?
Katie, this has been great. Thank you so
Are we
much.
finished? Why are
Where
you ending on me this early? Did
it's
you end on everyone this early?
it's 35 minutes, and you answered the
Not
last
enough,
question.
Alan. That's not enough. I've got so much more to say.
What would you like to say?
No, I'm teasing. Well,
I
you
know
need
you
to
are.
come to St. Louis because I want to show you around.
I
So
would
much.
love to. So my
Wonderful.
plan is for 2025 and 2026 is to start taking this show on the road. So,
Oh, fun. We'll do it
and
again.
it will be fun,
I
very
will
much.
tell you what people have said to me over and over. When they come to St. Louis, they are shocked. They're like, "Oh my God, I had no idea it was like this." Like because they've been here for one event and were at that one event and didn't look
Yeah.
around, or they were at the airport or whatever. They are shocked how beautiful it is and our architecture and the seasons and all the things we have to offer. Truly, it's kind of a little secret. I mean, I do think real estate value is going to go up and up and up and up because more the word's getting out. When people live
Yeah.
here, they love it, absolutely love it. We don't have the mountains or the ocean, but we're centrally located. You can go travel for that, or have a second home there, or do Airbnbs. But we've got pretty much everything else.
I've
No.
seen what you posted on Realm and when you've spoken regarding your listings. And my husband and I, we've talked about relocating, but I have such a large extended family here in the Bay Area. There's anywhere, I think that our smallest Thanksgiving was 38
Oh
and
my
our
God.
biggest was 75. And it's
Oh
always
my
at my
God.
house, which I love, love, love
Right.
to do.
Right.
And to move out of the area and not have that anymore, I don't know if I could do it. But it's always nice to
Oh,
think about.
yes. Well,
So.
yes, but you can still visit here.
Yes, definitely.
And maybe we'll
Definitely.
have a realm event here that I can host and make it really amazing.
See, and that would be great.
I
So we have
really
to talk to
should
Julie
because
about
so
that.
many people have no clue about St. Louis. They really don't.
Well, and it would be a great destination for everybody to actually come and view and visit. And
Right.
I'm on board. The next RGC.
Yes. And I'm going to see you in a month, right?
I, what's in a month?
Charleston.
No, I'm not
Oh, you're
going.
not going?
No, 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 I'm not
Oh,
able to
darn it.
go. No, because I've got something for Engel and Volkers. I'm supposed to be in Utah. And, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Too
Darn
much,
it.
unfortunately.
Darn it. Darn it.
Sorry. Well,
Well,
Katie Dooley Curran from St. Louis is the person to always think about when thinking about real estate in St. Louis. Katie, thank you so much. I
no, you're
really
too
appreciate
kind. I
you.
cannot thank you enough. This has been great.
This has been
Really.
terrific.
Ah, fun.
Thanks,
All right.
Katie. Okay,
Bye.
take
Have a
care.
great
Bye bye.
day.